beat the Georgia Bulldogs, you're gonna feel the Bulldog.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me today, as always, Adam Thornton.
Boom!
And this is show number 142. Welcome back, folks. Georgia loses 39-34 in the Sugar Bowl to a good Ole Miss team. And Georgia's season comes to a screeching halt. It's definitely not what we expected the last time that we were on these mics, Adam.
No, it wasn't, Clark. Similar to last year when we were previewing the Sugar Bowl, I was really thinking that Georgia was going to pull this game out, right? I mean, the last time we saw them against Alabama in the 28-7 beatdown in the SEC Championship, beginning of December. And then we thought about last year, man, how you had the same schedule, same time off, and that game, of course, was a loss to Notre Dame with a lot of other factors. But you thought, man, Kirby Smart, this position was in the same position last year. There's stuff they're going to do different. They're going to approach this time off differently, right, and everything. And they probably did do some things, tweaked it a little bit different. But just wasn't their day Thursday night in New Orleans, man. And you got to tip your cap to Ole Miss, probably the most impressive quarterback performance I've seen against Georgia since Joe Burrow in the 2019 SEC Championship. A lot of high praise for Chambliss, but especially in that second half, man, he couldn't miss. But a lot of self-inflicted stuff that we did, and got out coached by Pete Golden in his second game as a collegiate head coach. I mean, call it like it is. I felt like this staff was out coached in the second half, man. And that fan base was fired up. That team was fired up. They wanted more. They executed better when they had to, and Georgia didn't make the plays when they had to, when they still had a chance to with a red-hot quarterback like Chambliss. So, yeah, a lot of things to talk about, man. But overall, still talking about this season, man, real quick, and I know we're going to talk about it. I still think this group overachieved this year. Won the SEC Championship. I've even read people say, oh, it's just the SEC Championship. I'm tired of hearing about that and getting knocked out in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. No, I still think a lot of people, you go back to August, was predicting this as like a 9-3 football team. And, heck, man, they actually finished their season beating every team they played on their schedule.
Yeah, that's true.
I wonder when the last time a team has lost 2 games in a season, if it's ever happened,
in college football,
beat the same 2 teams that they lost to in the same year.
I don't know. That's a great trivia question. Somebody needs to do some research. I'm not going to do that because I'm kind of college footballed out, if I'm being honest right now.
All right, yeah. Are you even going to watch the rest of the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I will. I'm a college football fan.
Yeah.
I'm not going to – look, I'm pouting. It's Monday, January 5th, so what, like 4 days after the game.
Yeah.
Still pouting about this. We have dreaded, or at least I have dreaded filming this episode. But we're going to push through because we are we're not the media, Adam, but we are fans, and we got this podcast. We have to talk about it. We can't not talk about the game.
No.
Despite us losing,
Yeah. Fun fact, if you're watching on YouTube, this is literally the first time since episode 1 of this show that I don't have on any Georgia attire, but it's because I had a fire meeting earlier and I was late coming here. You already had it set up, and I didn't have a Georgia shirt in the truck with me, so I'm just wearing my work sweatshirt. But so y'all forgive me on that one.
So when we get to episode like 1,000 and we have a trivia question about row 60, I'm going to ask y'all, what was the episode in which Adam did not wear
any Georgia
stuff?
And I feel weird. It feels very weird, but yeah.
I mean, it's black.
E&B Electrical Services. Y'all go support E&B Electrical Services.
Yeah, go get your house wired or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever y'all do.
Build a new house and let us wire it. Be great.
Not in this economy.
Huh? No, if you want to build a house,
I mean, go for it. But yeah, I'm just saying for the people out there, man, it's pretty expensive to build right now.
Hey, interest rates, I hear they're about to drop maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. Anyway.
Interesting.
I'm definitely no economist. Be telling anybody how to play the futures or anything with that. But
oh, man. Well, hopefully this episode will act as a cathartic release for Adam and I, for you guys listening. We got to debrief, and we just have to, not put a bow on it. What would you do with this game to move on? Normally we put a bow on a game.
Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it. There you go.
Put a pin in it.
A bow seems too positive.
Yeah.
Like a pin's just like
too pleasant.
Yeah, exactly. we got to move on though from this Sugar Bowl loss, and part of the way to do that is just to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. There were some good parts about it, and we'll try to stay glass half full on this podcast as we always do.
That's right.
And find some things to look forward to, because boy, it was tough looking forward to things on our drive back from New Orleans. That was rough. We'll get into that in just a little bit. We'll talk about the trip itself. We've got a shout out we want to make. We want to talk about Georgia's offense, defense, and then, once again, just sort of our final thoughts on the Sugar Bowl 2026. Right. We also have some semifinal games coming up, Oregon versus Indiana, Ole Miss versus Miami. 2 great games, honestly. And, yeah, I know earlier I didn't sound like I was excited to watch those, but I am, honestly. Some really good matchups there. So we got a lot on this podcast, on this episode. Let's just jump right into it. Let's start with the trip itself, Adam. We left January 1st, 2026. New Year's Day, bright and early.
Yep.
Struck out. What time was it? About
5:30.
5:30.
About 5:15, 5:30. Yeah, round about that area.
Went right through Atlanta. Got through it with no traffic, which was a blessing, wasn't it?
Oh man, the car ride there to New Orleans and back, honestly, on the roadways was a blessing.
Yeah.
There and back. Mm-hmm. I mean, we couldn't have asked for better traffic, driving conditions, everything, man. Worked out great. That part of the trip was just a blessing, and glad that's a blessing. That's a big part of the trip, is to get there and back safely.
Right.
So, the good Lord definitely blessed us with
it was about a 9-hour drive down there. Stopped in Biloxi, which was a great idea. That's what y'all did last year.
Well, never doing that again.
Yeah.
Never eating at that restaurant again.
Yeah.
Either.
Oh, that
seafood
place
restaurant.
we went to.
We've ate there 2 times the past 2 years for the Sugar Bowl, and just bad juice.
Yeah. Can't do it again. But yeah, Biloxi was pretty cool. I've never been down to Biloxi, Mississippi, but honestly, that would be a great place to go on a little vacation. The Gulf. I think it's pretty.
Oh yeah, the Gulf is real pretty. But yeah, no, it was. It was last year. The Sugar Bowl trip was the first time I've ever been there, man. And I couldn't believe the oceanfront view and everything. So it was neat to be able to go back this year and do the same thing there before the game, real quick. Stayed a little bit there, and it was a pretty day to kind of eat right there on the ocean, man, and you felt good. You felt good. And we got to go in our Airbnb that you got for us there, Clark, and change into some clothes and other clothes, man, and then head into New Orleans.
Yeah, got to catch a little bit of the Miami Texas Tech game and
the Texas Tech Oregon game.
Texas Tech.
Yep, in Miami. In Miami.
That's what I meant.
That's right.
Got to see that. And then we drove into New Orleans, found some parking, walked around a little bit. Honestly, I love New Orleans. I hate the Sugar Bowl. And I'm going to get to that in just a second, because I got to rant about the Sugar Bowl. Yeah. But New Orleans as a city, honestly, it smells like somebody just urinated all over it.
Yep.
But I love it. I think it's a really cool city. Yeah, it's part of the mystique. It's historic. You feel like you're in a ghost town kind of. There's just a lot of interesting things happening, and the food is just unreal. We ate at Acme Oyster House, which is a good call by our good friend Sam. Got some great oysters, man. Those are really good.
Yeah, no, it was it was neat. It was a good time. We ate there at Acme, man. Bourbon Street was electric, because Acme was right off of Bourbon Street right there. So we walked through Bourbon Street to get down to Acme Oyster House, and it was just covered. And really, then you the first thing you noticed, Clark, was just how much powder and navy blue was
it was
around the whole city.
Yeah, we had heard days leading up to the game, like, oh my gosh. All these Georgia fans down there were saying, wow, we're outnumbered. And it didn't, like when we got there, that was a realization to us as well. It's like, holy crap, we are outnumbered bad.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of neutral site games that Georgia's played in, whether it's bowl game, regular season matchup, yada, yada. And that's I've never seen Georgia outnumbered like that before. And there's some, I think, unique reasons of why that was too.
Yeah. Well, let's just jump into that right quick, because I think that's an interesting take. I think a lot of Georgia fans, especially the ones I talked to, were saving up for the Fiesta Bowl, just assuming, hey, we're gonna win this game, we're gonna beat Ole Miss, and that's how everybody kind of felt, honestly. So everybody's saving up to go out there. I also think, I think you brought this up as well, and you can touch on this too, but just last year, the way it happened, it wasn't your traditional Sugar Bowl. So people I don't know, they kind of got jaded of it, maybe more or less.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Didn't want to return.
No, I agree. I think that's the two main factors right there, Clark. I think you got last year's experience, especially a lot of people who spent a couple days in New Orleans leading up to it, right? And kind of did all the tour stuff last year and everything. Didn't want to just make a trip like we did. It's just, which was just crazy, just there and back, quick turnaround, where you at when you get done. But did that last year, but then on top of how the game got delayed, plans got scheduled, just had such a sour taste in their mouth from last year, but then have a Fiesta Bowl looming that Georgia's never been in. And a lot of Georgia fans' bucket list, and we've been blessed that Georgia plays in these games annually, is to watch Georgia play in every New Year's Six bowl game, right? And the ones left really is that we hadn't in the Kirby Smart era played in is the Cotton and the Fiesta. So you could check the Fiesta off, and it'd be a semifinal game right before the national championship. So, yeah, everybody's saving up, especially with who could be the matchup there between Ohio State or Miami, right? So, I mean, that was a thought in early December, right when the brackets were announced. And I don't blame anybody for that. I mean, it's hard, man, with middle class to be able to make all three of these games. And, with how college football is now, it used to just be, you just go saddle up for one bowl game, everybody pile in, right? Or even in the semifinal national championship ones, you might even get lucky, have one in Atlanta, and then the national championship you have to travel to. But now it's tough to make all three of them, right? So, I think a lot of pick and choosing, and of course the Sugar Bowl, I think for a lot of Georgia fans was going to be the odd one out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too.
And then on the flip side, you want to talk on that? You want me about Ole Miss?
No, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's Ole Miss' Super Bowl. I think they rallied behind and were ticked off about Kiffin, obviously. And they haven't played in a neutral site playoff game, their second playoff game ever, right by the house, really. Short drive. So I think everybody and their brother affiliated with the University of Mississippi got to New Orleans. I think they pulled out their grandparents that were in nursing homes that went and graduated from Ole Miss in 1966 and brought them as well.
Yeah.
I think anybody, or even if they have a friend who might just live in rural Mississippi and not care about football, let's go to New Orleans. You can go down Bourbon Street, yada, yada, do all this. I'll get you a powder blue T-shirt. I got you a ticket. We're going. They showed up in droves, man. They were fired up. They were excited. You saw that from the initial pregame. I didn't know they were capable to be that loud because I've been to Oxford a few times during some terrible Ole Miss years, during times where we've smoked them, during times where we've got smoked in Oxford, and really not just intimidating environment with a loud fan base, man. But it was a whole different side of an Ole Miss fan base I didn't know they were capable of doing. I've never been around a more intoxicated fan base, but a large majority of them. I mean, of course, in college football on the side, but yeah, that you mix New Year's, New Orleans, all that together, Ole Miss, their excitement, yeah, they were rowdy, man. And Georgia fans, even the ones there, I felt like, we're a little bit dead.
Yeah, I better be careful how I say this, but I definitely think a lot of Georgia fans kind of went into this game with a sense of entitlement.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was excited.
Now, I also got up and hooted and hollered. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I was a bump on the log, didn't participate in the game. And yeah, I mean, people would argue, how much do you really affect the game? But if everybody's into it,
right,
that does make it a difference, I think.
Oh, absolutely, man. And I mean, I kind of you felt like, and I think just as a fan, you're thinking going into that game right there, just I think we're going to win this one. Lane Kiffin not there, absolutely dangerous offense. We saw what Trinidad Chambliss did to us for 3 quarters in Athens, and that offense did. But then we saw the adjustments that were made when we got some pressure on them. We snuck our cornerbacks up, pressed them a little bit, and that fourth quarter in Athens in October, and we shut them down. We're just going to piggyback off that. Our defense and our cornerbacks, the secondary, our pass rush is a whole lot better than it was in mid-October. And coming off of what we just did against Alabama, the offense that really embarrassed us in the first half of that game in September, then we turn around and do that in December. We're rocking, man. Then we saw what that offense did to Ole Miss in October, man, and especially on the ground, rushing for 221 rushing yards. Yeah, we're going to pound the rock, control the game. And, I should have not been that naive to have known they would have a chip on their shoulder playing their A-plus game, man, and very highly motivated team that's very talented on the offensive side of the football. And, I mean, all that combination of things, perfect storm. We shoot ourselves in the foot, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I agree. We'll save some more talk X's and O's wise here in just a second, but Adam, I do hate the Sugar Bowl. I know you love it with the mystique and the haze, in which I did see. I saw the haze that you're talking about.
I know that was
it is real. The haze that sits atop towards the ceiling in the Superdome. I saw it. It's pretty cool. We were up there too. I mean, our seats were high up there. But Adam, I hate the Sugar Bowl. I have never seen Georgia win in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, you haven't. That's true.
I've only been twice. I just hate it. I really do. I wish I liked it. I wish I was there in 2007 and then 2003, but I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the Rick year Sugar Bowls was why I love it so much.
Yeah.
The Kirby year Sugar Bowls. Kirby's now 1-3 in Sugar Bowls at the University of Georgia, right?
Do we have a Sugar Bowl problem?
Yeah, we might have a state of Louisiana problem.
Yeah, for real.
With Kirby, right? So 1-4 in the state. Of course, Joe Burrow in 18. They beat LSU, or Georgia got beat by LSU in Baton Rouge, right? So, yeah, I can understand why people do not like the Sugar Bowl. I love the mystique, the history of it, but definitely have a sour taste in my mouth the past 2 years, and definitely wouldn't have thought we would lose 2 Sugar Bowls, 2 quarterfinal games in a row to Marcus Freeman than Pete Golden, right?
Yeah, I know.
But
that's crazy. When you boil it down to that, it's like, wow, makes you think. But one thing I do love about New Orleans is it's not Harrah's Casino anymore. It's Caesar's Casino.
Caesars, yeah.
So we stopped by before the game a little bit and went in there, and I took $40 and I just blew it on roulette and wasted it within 5 minutes.
I had a great time watching.
Yeah, you did.
I had a ball.
Because it was none of your money.
Yeah, I mean, it was just fun watching and everything and just looking at everything. You know, that's really the first time I've been through that casino before, but that's the first time I ever spent time in a casino, whether it's in Cherokee or in New Orleans or wherever. And I was just kind of amazed at just everything that was going on in there. So, I mean, I've never been to Las Vegas or seen any of that as well. So that's my only really taste of it. And I was like, this is wild.
Yeah.
So, spent a little bit of time in the old casino there.
It is crazy. Lost $40 within no time.
Yeah.
Kirby said it a few years back when we were on the bowl trip, the Sugar Bowl trip in 2019. He said, I remember this. He turned to the team. He said, "Boys, listen, there is a reason why casinos stay in business."
Yep.
And when I heard that, I'd never heard that in my life, but when I heard it from Kirby say it that day to the team, I was like, that actually kind of makes sense. But I should have known when I lost my $40, which is very easy to do in a casino, by the way. Yeah. I should have known then it wasn't going to be a good day for the Dogs.
Right.
For any of us.
Oh, yeah.
But nonetheless, what was great about the casino, though, we did get to meet a fellow dog. His name is Will from Augusta.
Yeah.
And he came up to us and started talking to us, told us that he watched our YouTube videos with his dad, watched the vlogs. And so that was really cool.
It was real neat
to meet Will there. So shout out to you, Will, if you're listening. We appreciate the support, brother.
Yes, sir, man.
I think that was really cool as well.
Yeah,
but,
definitely. Definitely.
Anything else about the game day atmosphere, or do we want to move into the football?
No, I mean, I love the walk. I talked about
cool.
it. That walk was cool, and especially at night this year. Then, so yeah, it was good. So the atmosphere is wild right there on Bourbon Street because we did eat an Acme oyster there. And a funny story, real quick. I thought this was pretty funny. I'll have to share with everybody. So you and McKay went back to drop his luggage to the car, right? So where we ate at is a street right off of Bourbon. So we were going to meet you on the corner right there that was still on Bourbon Street and try to peek our head in the window because we had to get out of our table at Acme because there's a standby line, so you respectfully need to get up and get out. So we were poking our head kind of in a restaurant right outside of these bar areas and everything to look into a TV to watch the Alabama-Indiana game. Mm-hmm. So while y'all were gone, then I noticed across the street, you might want to just pause it, skip ahead a little bit if you have young ears listening. I'll give a little bit of time. All right, so now there was the Hustler Strip Club right across the street. And I was like, Sam, we got to move up. I can't have my little blue dot on Live 360 hovering around the Hustler Strip Club and my wife getting the wrong impression that my little blue, because that Live 360 dot can
wonders.
It can hover. If it hovers smack down in the middle of that would be the worst case scenario of anything right there. So we had to make a move that we had to move up in the street to get away while we were waiting on y'all from the old Hustler Strip Club right there, where there would be no misinterpretation that we are spending time with that type of pregame activity.
I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that.
I forgot to tell you that.
That was hilarious.
That was good. I told him, he said, "Yeah, brother, I think that's a good idea. We need to do that." So
I'm telling you,
we had to bolt up the street to get away from it, just where our blue dot. I mean, amazing how technology, wouldn't be there.
You're exactly right, though. That blue dot kind of wanders off.
It does
a little
wander
bit.
off if you.
And if somebody's tracking you,
and if you're right there, and if she just pops out, I wonder what they're doing right now. Then boom, my blue dot's at the
come home divorced and
it
the
wouldn't
dogs
be good.
lost.
Wouldn't be good. So yeah, we made a call that we need to avoid that confusion from happening right there. So yeah, that's just a good chuckle for everybody.
Good stuff. Oh man. Well, let's laugh at this fact. This Clark's not so fun fact to keep from crying. Georgia had 53 straight wins when leading at halftime before last Thursday, and that streak is now snapped. 53 straight wins. I mean, that's saying something right there. You're going into halftime, 53 straight games, and you don't lose a game up until
that is amazing.
The Sugar Bowl.
What was was it South Carolina 2019?
Yeah, I think you're right. Or were we tied?
That's got to be before then, right? No, I mean that's got to be since then, rather. That the math don't add up on that, right? Or does it? No, it don't. It don't.
I don't know.
What game would that be?
We'll have to go back and look.
Were we up at the half? And no, we weren't up in the half in Tuscaloosa in 20, were we?
I feel like we were we not? Yeah, I think we were.
That had to be it then.
Yeah, potentially.
Maybe. I don't know. It's too late to try to do math on that. Got to be one of them.
All right, let's talk about Georgia's offense here. I think that's a good place to start, and we'll move into defense.
All
right. We ran the ball very well in the first half. Coming out of the gate, I think we looked hot running the ball between the tackles. We attacked the edges a little bit. 37 carries, 124 rushing yards on the day, 2 touchdowns. But yeah, I mean, I thought we did decently well with Nate Frazier, and you know, it took us a little while to get up to speed.
It took about 3 possessions to start running.
That's true.
I don't think we had a handoff until the 3rd possession, right?
That is right. Yeah.
I mean,
but when we did start running, it's like, wow, all right.
Well, that's what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
Run the ball between the tackles. That's right. Which I will say, there was a bunch of swing passes and bubble screens out to elite playmakers and speed guys in space, like we've talked about all year. Zachariah Branch which is I believe, an extension of the running game. But in the previous meeting, and then when we did do it, we did have a lot of success against Ole Miss's defensive front going off of the game in October. And early on, it felt like running the ball between the tackles.
Yeah. Adam, you just said it. Ole Miss's defense front, man, absolutely changed this game. They stepped it up. If you ask me, hey, what was the difference between the first meeting and the second? Ole Miss's defense front. They just dominated in the trenches, honestly. They had 9 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. I think you said earlier before the show started, 9 quarterback pressures.
And 2 sacks.
I mean, that's a lot, y'all. That's havoc. And, you know, shout out. You gotta tip your hat to Pete Golden. I mean, getting these guys ready up front defensively. And that is, in my opinion, the difference in those 2 meetings, because Trinidad Chambliss had a great game the first go round as well. I mean, he was pretty poised, cool, calm, and collected. I mean, he had a great game in the Sugar Bowl as well. I think a better performance, but it's not like he just made some drastic change in the Sugar Bowl that he didn't have in Athens when we played him earlier in the season. So, yeah, I mean, Ole Miss defense front, man, they look good. They batted the ball down, man.
There was
so much.
2 key third downs, Clark. That I think one was Oscar Delp. I think the other might have been. Oh, excuse me. But there was another open receiver on third down plays where they got a paw up, knock the ball down. That would have been an extension of the drive where Georgia had to punt it after that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know there might have been more, but I can just think off the top of my head 2 third down plays where there was an open receiver that Gunner was keying in on, and I keyed in on him a little bit too much, I think, and then they just did a good job of timing and getting up in there and batting the ball down. So, yeah, night and day difference, man, because we talked about this Ole Miss defensive front ain't near the level of play they were last year when we saw them in Oxford with Walter Nolan and those guys on the line that they spent a lot of NIL money on in 24, kind of went all in there. Way less talented across the board this year, but they played at a level above what they've been playing, I feel like, you know, especially getting after the quarterback, like you said, pressuring the quarterback on passing situations and stuff.
Yeah. Gunner went 18 for 31, 203 yards, 1 touchdown. You know, there are going to be some people that disagree with me. I think he played pretty well. Look, did he play perfect? Absolutely not. There were some throws that, he missed whatever. But and just I think the progression as well. He was not the same after that one hit he took. That shot.
Oh, he was concussed.
I really do think he was playing through a concussion as well. But I think that affected his, the way he read the defense and progressed throughout each route. I mean, there were several times where we had a guy streaking wide open. I remember, I think it was London Humphreys, that fourth down, we shouldn't have snapped the ball. We did snap it. The little miscommunication there. If you go back and watch London Humphrey, if he has 0.7 seconds more time, he launches that ball downfield and it's a touchdown. He's wide open.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy. It's just stuff like that, man.
Talking about the fourth down play there at the end of the game where we were on our, on 29 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the fourth and then the ball's not even – and you could just tell by everybody on the offense's reaction outside the center that the ball wasn't supposed to be snapped. And I really don't know where the miscommunication was when you just know the ball's not going to be snapped right there, that it does get snapped. But that's neither here nor there. But, as far as Gunner goes, man, I'm going to say this right now. Gunner's my favorite Georgia quarterback we've had in years. Yes, I love Stetson Bennett, but I love Gunner Stockton. And because I love his heart, his toughness, his leadership. I just love the way he carries himself. So I'm a monstrous Gunner Stockton fan, have been, and always will be. And I can't wait to see how he does next year, Clark, as far as how he progresses and see what kind of leap he has after a full year starting under his belt. This is his first year starting, guys.
Yeah.
And, I think it was kind of up and down in some senses that, I think there were some struggles early on, then middle of the year until the Texas game. He was playing at a very, very high Heisman caliber level. And, don't know what he was playing through and stuff. And then he loses Drew Bobo, I think has a lot to do with it. That had a lot of pre-snap responsibilities. I think took a load off of Gunner with that, right? But I think, I don't, to me, Clark, you probably don't agree with this, but it could just be coincidence. But I think there might have been a confidence a little bit lost when he threw that interception against Texas over the middle of that linebacker. And I kind of think there was a little bit of more timidness since then. And I mean, a lot of the stuff he converted, I felt like in the games after that were really just shorter throws, and that's fine. We did what we had to do to win those games, but I kind of feel like there was that, and that's no knock on him. I think he is the guy and stuff, but I just think the confidence that was there in the middle of the season, there might have been just a little, and that could be because you're missing guys injured like Drew Bobo and stuff, and Gunner's probably banged up. I mean, I know he was the other night, I feel like, after that hit, but I don't know. I felt like there were some times that he could have let it just rip down the field, and avoided to doing that because of maybe turnover, didn't want to turn the ball over, interception. I could be wrong on that, and I'll eat my crow and be wrong on that, but that's just kind of, can't help. I've thought about that the past couple of days a little bit in a sense, and I love Gunner Stockton. Can't wait to see him next year, but just maybe a little bit of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think more than anything, it's just Drew Bobo being out. I don't think people understand how big
Pivotal
of a difference he makes on the field. And no knock against Tolliver. I think he's a great guy. But you're right. I mean,
Bobo's
Bobo's
in the SEC championship.
Yep, Bobo's just very cerebral. He can adjust at the line. And like you said, that takes so much off Gunner. That takes a lot off your quarterback when you're not having to sit there, point out the mic, make adjustments, pick up blitzes, that sort of thing, and alert, the rest of the offensive line. So I don't know. I think if you had Drew Bobo, that game might look a little different for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think you snap that ball willy-nilly fourth down.
I just don't think Gunner was comfortable at all Thursday night in the pocket. I think it bailed too early sometimes and stuff, and definitely some pressure. We talked about the Ole Miss defensive line, what they did as well, but I think there was some times where he did have some time to step up in the pocket and not bail too prematurely, and see if you could push the ball downfield a little bit longer. But I don't want to sound like I'm knocking, because I like I've said, he is honestly my favorite Georgia player in the past few years, and I know that's crazy for some, with even Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers and all them. I love him, and I can't wait. I think he's got many more just shining moments left at the University of Georgia. But and I don't know. That's just something I pointed out if you want to just talk about quarterback play.
Yeah. I think a huge momentum swing came when we did not get that field goal with about 8 minutes left in the third quarter. I went back and watched that today. This is the first time I watched the game since the game. And
I can't believe you did that. I couldn't do it.
It's tough. Yeah. It was rough. But watching Peyton Woodring, man, I mean, he's been money all year. And I'm not going to knock him for this. It was a 55-yard attempt. That's a long way. It was kind of weird just because you would expect him to hit those in the dome. I mean, there's no real elements. There's no wind. There's no rain or anything. So it's not like the snap wasn't good. The hold wasn't good. He just didn't get enough leg. And, that happens. I'm not blaming him or anything. But I'm just saying, had you gotten that, my gosh, I mean, you'd have had more than a 2-touchdown lead. It would have been, I take that back. It would have been a 12-point lead. So it's not more than a 2-touchdown. Sorry. My math was off on that.
Would have been huge to get points.
But it would have been, yeah.
Yeah.
And just for momentum's sake, but you turn the ball over there on downs, essentially, and then give it right back to him. So, I mean, there was so much momentum captured by this Ole Miss team. Coming out of halftime, Georgia went 3 and out,
Yeah.
3 and out. That sucked. Granted, defense bowed their necks midfield and stopped Ole Miss on a 4th down conversion right after that. So it's not like you go 3 and out and then that just totally costs you.
Yeah, no, right. It felt like, man, if you could make that game 28-12, and you had 2 possessions in the first half, the second half to do that. In the second half, of course, you get the ball right out of the half. You fail to get any points off of that, and then also the second possession, you stopped Ole Miss and get the ball back, and you have a chance to do that again, and weren't able to do that, get points either the first 2 times offense touches the ball in the second half.
Yeah, and then late in the game, you thought that Zachariah Branch touchdown was going to be it.
Smart, man.
We called it there in the end zone, touchdown, beautiful, just effort play by Zach Branch. And, you kind of felt like, oh my gosh, this could potentially be the start of it. We cut the deficit to 3 points there. Just didn't happen, man.
I mean, it couldn't have asked any more perfect how you marched down the field. It felt like when we did go a little bit more hurry up in tempo, we drove the ball down the field a whole lot more methodically, it felt like. But yeah, I mean, just what the doctor ordered at that scenario, that certain point of the game, Clark, to get it where after being down by 10 points to, here we go, let's go.
Yeah.
You get a quick stop right here. You get the ball back, tie it and go to overtime or win the game late in the fourth quarter, right? So, I mean, it felt like, we're getting that momentum back. We're doing what this Georgia team has been so good of doing all year at Auburn, against Ole Miss, at Tennessee. I mean, so many different times, time and time again, where this team has, faced adversity and just come back and knew they were going to win the game and won the game. Especially in situations where on the road or a neutral site game where the fan base was outnumbered and it was a little bit more louder in that dome, obviously, when Georgia had the football, because there was more Ole Miss fans and they were more motivated and fired up and were louder than Georgia fans.
Yeah. And then you get the ball back, 3 minutes, 12 minutes. 3 minutes, 12 minutes. 3 minutes, 12 seconds left of the fourth quarter. That Gunner throw to Zachariah Branch on 4th and 9 was just a thing of beauty. And that's when I really felt good about it. Hey, we're marching down the field. Then you get the holding call, backs you up 1st and 20. But then you convert that and you get to the goal line. And my gosh, you just got to punch it in there. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. Look, I vehemently defended Mike Bobo on this podcast, and I'll continue to do that as long as he's at the University of Georgia and as long as we're running an efficient offense and doing things well, which we've always done with Mike Bobo. And I know people out there right now, they're hissing.
They're getting ridiculed for that, but
I
agree. I agree.
They're hissing at me. They're ticked at me for saying that. Whatever. They're calling me a Disney dog. Fine, I don't care. But I don't. If it were me, and I don't get paid to coach at the University of Georgia, nobody's asking for my opinion on this coaching staff. They weren't, calling me on the headset, hey, what do you think we should do here? But if they did, if it's me, I'm running the ball 3 times there. And if anything, I'm milking that clock all the way down to about 15 seconds. Because, look, the way Ole Miss beats you and the way that they did was through the air. They were so good at just creating these explosive plays the other night. And if you watched all 3 quarters and 10 minutes of that, game and saw what they were doing, I just can't believe like we didn't tick that clock down all the way and then force that game into overtime.
Well, if you don't get a tackle for loss there as well. But, yeah, like you said, when you get it initially, 1st and goal, if you run it 3 times and you don't get in the end zone, you're like you said, you're at that 15-second mark. But you have a decision there too, Clark, probably from the 1-inch line around there, the goal line. Do you, on 4th down, even if you get stuffed on 3rd down, running the ball, do you go for the win right there? You know,
could, yeah.
You could even just go for the win right there with the way Ole Miss was moving the football through the air and how Trinidad Chambliss was dialed in. You could end there walk-off touchdown, or worst case scenario, you're kicking a field goal if you decide to play conservative on 4th down and send it to overtime and don't give Trinidad Chambliss or their kicker, who was just having a out-of-the-world type game, just on par as Trinidad Chambliss was as well, to have a shot to end the game there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have done that, but I mean, I would have played for overtime at that point. But look, I can't knock Kirby's decision, and he said this in the post-game presser. He was like, look, we were trying to win the game in that situation. So
yeah,
I get it. I mean, you had a one-on-one matchup there with Delp. You had a one-on-one matchup, I think, with Colby Young right behind him, who was actually, he was open. And I think had Gunner actually went through his progression there, not stared down Oscar Delp at 6, and we're going to the Fiesta Bowl. But I digress. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to play that game. But, you know, everybody has their opinion on this. Mine is that it's probably not what I would have done in the situation. But, you know, it's one of those things, if Oscar Delp catches the ball in the back of the end zone, nobody's talking about it this way.
No.
And, you know, and then on the flip side, people want him to run the ball 3 times. So it's a young ears out there, just whatever, skip through. So damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of a situation for Mike Bobo. And that's how it always is for these coaches. So, yeah, you can either love them or hate them. They don't care. They're still getting paid money to coach. And, you know, you just got to trust them as fans. So that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
So anything else about offense, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Definitely, overall, I think it was, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you get help from the defense with a score, but you get 34 points, man. And
should be enough.
I think if you want to put blame on one side of the football or the other, I think you could really equal it out on both sides of the football. And people might not agree with me, but I think this was a just total team loss.
Yeah. As all games are.
You could really just blow holes through what could have gone better on both sides of the football. Definitely on the offense side of the game plan. You know, wish we could have ran the ball a little bit more between the tackles, but then there were times, like we alluded to earlier, where the right play call was made actually on some 3rd down conversions. That execution and other plays just wasn't there. Mm-hmm. But the play was open there. I mean, I'm like I said, 2 times in particular where the ball was batted down, that receivers were open behind the sticks that would have extended the drives, and who knows what those drives result in there, right, Clark? Right. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not ready just to sit off here and just bash this offense and go through another offseason of Bobo needs to be fired, Stacey Searles need to be fired, all this stuff, man. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's move to defense. I think, good gosh, I mean, Trinidad Chambliss. Look, if you're going to beat the University of Georgia, you have to have elite quarterback play. Bottom line. And Trinidad Chambliss absolutely lit it up. He went 30 for 46, 362 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns. Unreal. Hats off to Trinidad Chambliss. He stood in the pocket several times despite pressure. Escaped the pocket, found guys open downfield. He made some amazing back shoulder throws. I mean, the guy was just lighting it up. Yeah. And, you know, he caught lightning in a bottle. Well, not really, though, because he's been playing like this all year, really. But that performance against Georgia, and you said it earlier, is one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen against a Kirby Smart coach defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you go back the kryptonite to these Saban, Kirby Smart defenses, either at Alabama or Georgia throughout the 2010s on into the 2020s, as you pinpoint just very talented quarterbacks, a lot of them dual threat, really playing out of their mind. I mean, you think back to Cardale Jones and that same building in 2014, Ohio State and Alabama. Deshaun Watson, even though he didn't win the first time, but then the second time he beat them in 2016. Joe Burrow against both Alabama and Georgia, right? I mean, even Kyle Trask in 2020 was the same type of game that they had, and Trinidad Chambliss just added to that list. And sometimes you just got to tip your hat to that, right? So I mean, a lot of people talk about quarterback pressure. We need to, we just couldn't get to him, yada yada. I think Charlie Weiss Jr. Has to be feeling really good about the 2 games he's had, not under Lane Kiffin's shadow, kind of his deal and his play calling, right? And how this, obviously they've been coached up running Lane's system, but Charlie Weiss Jr. did a good job of adjustments from the first game. I think they rolled Trinidad out of the pocket a lot, right? And when he stayed in the pocket, he has such a quick release too. Yeah. And really just these short yards passes they almost connected on, 7, 8 yards, 10 yards, just like that, just bam, 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 and but they did a good job moving the pocket, I felt like. Yeah. And really, yeah.
Yeah, their receivers too. The Wallace and Stripling kid, they had 156 and 122 receiving yards respectively. I mean, that's right there. That's your whole production for the most part. They threw it to their tight ends a little bit here and there, but good gosh, I mean, they lit it up. And I think there's going to be a lot of criticism. There already has been with this Georgia secondary, but God, I mean, these guys are still young, and I know that's not an excuse. Like Kirby would never use that excuse, but I will use it for him. You got a guy like Ellis Robinson. I mean, first year starting, and you would think, if he's had a whole season and everything to get used to it. Yes, but my gosh, these receivers Ole Miss has, they're pretty daggone good. They were last year, and they kind of have historically been for the past decade, even go back to the Hugh Freeze days. But you got him, you got DeMella Jones, a younger cat, you got the Rashawn Dinkins, another guy, you got Zion Branch, Zach's brother, right, playing safety, coming in for Ja'Cory Thomas. I mean, just a lot of inexperience in the secondary, honestly, aside from KJ and Dalen. And so I think that kind of hurt us a little bit. And, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Ole Miss broke containment all night. They were able to get the edge on the ground, I felt like. I do think we missed Gabe Harris. I'm not going to say that's the whole reason why we lost, but absolutely not. But obviously you missed him out there. And I think you even missed Jordan Hall. I know we've missed him for a few games now, but just into just the depth of that rotation, right? So on the defensive line. But, and also I think the biggest pick factor too, man, if you go back, they didn't tackle like we've grown accustomed to Georgia defenses tackling under Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann. Yeah. I thought it was a very poor fundamental game as far as just the tackling goes that we could have wrapped up and forced Ole Miss to either go for it on 4th down or punt the ball. In some circumstances where we didn't tackle well, and there are some times where Trinidad Chambliss was majority of the quarterbacks out there would be sacked. One time in particular, probably would have been a 20-yard loss, but he's able to do a spin move, break containment, man, and scramble around. And I hadn't seen a quarterback make a reminiscent play of that since Joe Burrow did in 2019 SEC Championship. Yeah. Really, honestly, that play. But just stuff like that, you got to think like, man, you just got to tip your hat to them. And you got to tip your hat to this Ole Miss team. They're literally not as talented as they were last year at about any position, in my opinion. And just all of a sudden just come out and but I mean, it's a team with a chip on their shoulder. Man, that's the beauty of college football. And, motivated in that particular night, man. They played well, but it stings because you still should have beat them, and you had opportunities to beat them. Yeah. And but you were out coached and outplayed. Right. I think you also shot yourself in the foot too. Yeah, for sure. The difference too between this game, last game, Ole Miss ran the ball so much better on the ground, and I know this isn't some wild statistic, but I want to say, hold up, let me see how many they had 111 rushing yards. We actually outrushed them. And you hear that 111 rushing yards. That's crazy to you, Clark? It actually kind of is. I mean, on average, Georgia's kept teams under that by a pretty good amount. Keywan Lacey, though, I mean, he had 22 carries, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he ran the ball effectively. I mean, was he just the player of the game by any means? No, but
he picked up some really tough yards, I think, that kept these drives alive for Ole Miss. So I think he played well. But he did fumble. And I thought for sure we had it sealed after that Dalen Everett scoop and score. I was going insane. I think we all were, respectively. You go up 21-12 with 2 minutes left in the half, and it almost seems like, last year with Notre Dame, you lose the middle eight, right?
Yeah.
The middle eight of the game. And it seemed like, oh my gosh, we're going to win the middle eight of this game. Right. It's going to be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen that way in the end. It didn't matter what we played like in the middle eight because we didn't win the fourth quarter.
Well, I was fired up. I was feeling really dang good when I saw you at halftime, man. I was juiced. 21-12. I felt like, our defense was playing a bend, don't break type deal. I thought our offense was going to get it rolling. I really felt like, too, that there's nobody better in college football when you go to the half at making halftime adjustments than Kirby Smart and this staff. And especially on the defense side of the football, and we've seen us just come back in the second half. But now we got a 9-point lead going into half, man. On the playoff game, we're going to be good. You got an Ole Miss team there in turmoil. Pete Golden, his second game as a head coach. Yeah, give me what Kirby Smart's going to do and his team at stat. But Ole Miss came out the second half, and they wanted it more, man. And point-blank period, we had opportunities, like we said, to really extend the lead and cause some doubt. But like you said, football is such a big game of momentum, and Ole Miss captured that bend but don't break defense. Finally, the dam broke, and and it was just things unraveled, and the opportunities we had as time was ticking just couldn't convert with them, right, or couldn't make the stop. And I don't know. I think Ole Miss too, Clark. They did a good job of not getting behind the chains on early downs as well.
Yeah,
I felt like between quick passes, just 5-6 yard passes, or even times when they ran the ball on first down, hitting the edge, getting between the tackles. They had a lot of second and short situations, and were able to move the chains that way. Then they hit some explosive plays as well. And, of course, the last explosive was the dagger that instead of going to overtime, gave their kicker, who was just money, seemed like when he got to money, being a 55-yard field goal. So, yeah. Yeah,
I don't understand, and this is another thing. Nobody's paying me for my opinion. Nobody asked me during the game. They probably shouldn't. What to do here in this situation, but it just baffles me. We had a safety cheated over to the single receiver side, and this is something I noticed during the game, and then I kind of just, I guess, forgot about it. I saw Davin Bellamy, DeAndre Baker. Shout out to both of those guys, DGDs. But they were talking about it. I saw a clip of it somewhere today. But they were talking about it. Why do we have, for one, why are we in cover one on 3rd and 7 with the game on the line?
I agree.
I mean,
with what they've been doing on
right. Like, it's ballsy to do that, right? Like, you got to really trust your guys to do that. And I appreciate that. I respect that. But let's get a little bit of safety help here. And I don't know why Zion was cheated so far away from the trips on that. He was so out of position. I don't. Once again, that might just been a coaching thing, like hey, bump over to the single side receiver, like we're scared of him. I don't know, but it was so baffling to me. And DeMello got beat; he got toast. But you got to have a safety there to help him in that situation.
Because that's where they're trying to get to, right? And then everybody just felt like when that happened, we needed to block that kick, or it was done. It was game over.
And what about Dalen almost?
Oh yeah!
My gosh,
that was close, man.
When I saw that didn't happen, I was like, this is not meant to be, unfortunately. But man, that was a tough game to digest. It was a tough game to witness, to be there in person. It was tough wherever you were, but especially being there in that stadium, watching those seconds tick off, and then watching the the stage being rolled onto the field, rolled off, rolled on, rolled off, and then back on again for the third time. Wild, man. And it just felt sickening, honestly.
I tell you what, man, I was thinking as that play was developing, that last play, golly, we go and get the onside kick. That just shows where they're at. They don't even try to jump on the ball with the onside kick that we attempt on having to kick the ball away, kick the ball to them because of the safety, right? But that last play, Clark, man, when you got those guys like Cash Jones, Dylan Bell, pretty sure Dylan Bell was out there, just these guys, their last time playing for the University of Georgia, it sums it up how connected this team was and how much I love this rendition of Georgia football, of this team, and what all about, I think, was described in that play. Yes, the backyard play, but they were trying. It's not like they just knew they were going to cash it in. They tried their very best to get that ball down the field in that 1 second. I mean, they left it all on the field that last play, man. And I just think that perfectly sums up what this team's attitude was the whole year of just never quit. Yeah. Even though odds are completely against them, adversity is just, staring them right in the face as far as on the football field and everything. That last play, one of them easily could have just, I'm done, giving up. But they, really tried to extend that play. And I just think that was the definition of the 2025 Georgia Bulldogs. Yeah. Yes, it didn't end like we wanted it to. Yes, people are ticked off. But I can't help but think this team overachieved, and I can't help but just absolutely love this team, even though it hurt, and it's going to continue to sting on in the offseason.
Yeah. It took Ole Miss literally every single second of that game. It took them an all-time performance to beat this Georgia football team in New Orleans. They're a great team, don't get me wrong, but this Georgia football team, they overachieved this year, no doubt about it. They battled injuries. They scrapped and clawed. They played from behind in a lot of different games, and they gave it their all. So I think ultimately this team, this 2025 Georgia football team, laid a foundation for next year's team to go on and win a national championship. So that's what I tend to believe. I hope that's the case. I'm proud of this team. I really am. I love this version of Georgia, man. And, we're just a young team. And once again, I know Kirby's not using that excuse. I know the players, those guys, the young players, they're not sitting there saying, well, I'm a freshman. I'm too young to understand. Like, they're not doing that. But when you think about it and you really just logically think, like, when you go up against some of these seniors, some of these juniors on other teams, and you're a freshman and a sophomore and you really haven't seen that many live bullets, that does make a difference. Experience matters. So
banged up team too, Clark. I mean, done banged up there to the end. I mean, everybody is college football when you get to these, games 14 and 15 and so on. But yeah, I think I'm going to echo what you said about that. If we're going to kind of try to recap the season right now. Is that where you're at with it? Or you want a few more things to say before the end? Because I got a note here that I wanted to point out about this year's group.
We might do a whole episode, like a quick 30-minute episode. I say quick. It might be an hour episode. We might set, like, if you want to point something out now, go for it.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to point out, man, that, I sat there and I thought, just keep it in perspective. It's like, man, how many of these playoff games, these big-time playoff games, national championship implications on the line? First off, we're a blessed fan base that you're after Christmas, you're still in the national championship hunt every year that we almost take for granted, right? But also, how many of these close games, thinking about back, 8 years ago to Pasadena, California, how you come back and you win that game. The Ohio State game, man, there where Ruggles misses the kick. That we've come on these dramatic, close games, and we came out on the right side of it at the end. It was bound to happen eventually in that, and it just stings when it does. But as I alluded to earlier, man, this team was predicted to go 9-3. 9-3. It was young and everything, but just the job that was done in Athens this year with a new quarterback that you had under center. They only started one game. Then you had a sophomore running back, Nate Frazier, who almost got 1,000 yards rushing this year.
Wow.
Came very close to it. The wide receiver rotation was completely new in a sense, outside of like Dylan Bell, really. And Humphrey's having to just step up. You get Kobe Young back, who was missed a lot of significant time last year. Let's see, I had the list right here. New center, right guard, right tackle. And then, you have two new edges, passer, Quintavious Johnson and Gabe Harris, and a DB and a safety and a star that was, newer this year. And it was just, I don't know. When you think of that kind of stuff, man, it just puts it all in perspective of all the new pieces that had to plug into play, buy into the culture. And, you go 11-1 in the regular season, you win the SEC championship by 21 points, and it ends not like we want it to, right? And I felt like we would win this game, and I was more nervous about a semifinal game. And I think what stings about it so much this year is the path to the national championship. And I don't know if it's because it's the logo on the helmets aren't as intimidating as what we faced in the past, but and just also our style of play match up, but you felt like you could win it. But then you look, Miami's played really good ball in Indiana, right? It's going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the way. But I think that's what kind of makes it sting even more. It's like, man, it was just there again. You know,
Yeah.
it was there again right in front of us. But I think Georgia will be in the thick of it next year. Yes, I'm being a Disney dog, trying to focus on the positives of how this team overachieved. But yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Man.
But wouldn't you rather be in the hunt, right? Like,
Oh gosh,
wouldn't you rather lose to in a college football playoff than be playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl
I'm sorry, man, but I'm not national championship or bust
anymore? You can't. You
anymore.
cannot
in this day and
expect
age
to be. Yeah.
No, you can't. You can't. Now we talked about this the other night riding home. If we would have lost in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the 21 season, if Noah Ruggles would have made that kick to be eliminated in 2022 in the Peach Bowl, right, and then 23 up until now played out, and we've been that close and couldn't get it, then I would be. I don't even want to think about that, right? I mean, probably be that unhealthy obsession with the heartbreak of college football that's just not right in life, right? As a grown man to be thinking about in life. But the fact that we got to see that and we were blessed enough to see that and be at the hunt every year, I love the feeling that as a Georgia fan, I get to be leading up into Christmas, excited about Christmas first and foremost. But then after that, I get to watch Georgia play and the chance for another national championship, right?
Yeah.
And to have that's a blessing in this day and age of college football. To win the SEC championship, a lot of people water that down now and don't care about it. It's still a huge deal to me. I mean, there was hardware collected 2 years in a row. And and it's not going anywhere either, right? I mean, it's going to be so hard that these expectations have got to be tempered by fan bases. Now, I'm going to say, a national championship every year just because we're more red and black glasses, half glass full type of thoughts here, right? But no doubt that it's going to be harder and harder to win it every single year. But I think Georgia's been in the thick of it and have a chance to do it every single year if they get to this point. I
want to caution any Georgia fan. I'm not saying this is our listeners or anything, but if you're one of those people that you're enraged right now because Georgia didn't make it the national championship and we didn't make it last year and the last year before that, if you're just one of these people that can't accept a loss, just calm down. Every team wants to win a national championship. It's not just Georgia. Ole Miss probably wants it a little bit more than Georgia would this year. Indiana, do you think Indiana fans want a national championship? They've never seen one. Not in football at least. So my thing is, man, just to your point, temper your expectations if you're a Georgia fan. Even if you're whatever college football fan you are nowadays, just temper your expectations because, like you said, it's going to be significantly harder from here on out to win championships.
Yeah, I think it's fun too. And my mindset is when you're still in the race, we got the potential. I could really easily see how Georgia can win a national championship. But then just don't lose your mind and get on the internet and just say irrational stuff when it doesn't happen, man. As frustrating as it is, that you feel like you did, have a game just get away from you, right? I mean, it's going to be harder and harder. So I don't know. I've just seen a lot of stuff in the past 4 days on message boards and stuff, just asinine comments of people who need to be fired, yada, yada. Yes, I mean, you got to, reevaluate stuff and get better every year. College football is just evolving. With the portal, it's a new game. But we've just got to know that if Georgia was in the air of early 2010s, if it was 2011, 12, 13, the way Kirby Smart runs his staff and where he was at in college football after 2022, after that 65-7 beatdown against TCU, if there was no portal, if there was no NIL, Georgia would have went on an Alabama-type run that Nick Saban enjoyed from 2009 to 2020. Period. What happened? If Nick Saban started that run in 2009 in the college football landscape of 2024-25, Alabama would not have 6 national championships. And that's just period. It's just unfortunate, but that's just the cards that are dealt, right? Georgia will still be in contention of it, and Georgia will get another one. Kirby Smart will get another one, but it won't be what we were set up to do after 2022 because of the landscape shifting in college football. And I'll go to my grave preaching that happening, man.
Yeah.
So, but it's part of it. You just got to reset your expectations and enjoy the ride and enjoy the fact that Georgia's not going to go anywhere as long as Kirby Smart's the head coach. But on the flip side of that, you're like, man, you're not going to have Kirby until he's 70 years old.
Right.
And you're like, man, every season you miss on the opportunity for one more, that greed sets in that you want to just take advantage of the situation of having the best coach in college football. So I get that argument too, that argument as well. But I do think we'll get another one with Kirby. and we'll definitely always be in the hunt with it. And that's the way you got to look at it.
Exactly. Well, that felt good to sort of get that out of my system. I'm sure you could probably echo that as well, Adam, just to talk it through.
Oh, absolutely, man.
And
had a good talk on the way back home, too.
We did. Oh, man, we solved the world's problems and Georgia footballs, for that matter. And our own.
For 8 hours. Yep.
Yeah, we talked all sorts of stuff on the way back.
Great talks. Great talks.
We should have recorded the podcast then. All right, so let's wrap this episode up by looking at some semifinal games.
All right.
We can do that now because we've talked through this Georgia Ole Miss Sugar Bowl
Pick
loss.
your national champion.
Yeah. We're not in it. It's okay. We've got next year. That's what every Tennessee fan and Florida fan and Clemson fan and everybody else says. So
Oh, yeah.
there can only be one winner, man.
Time out. I meant to say this earlier. One more thing, man. How can you just be disgruntled with a Georgia football season when we continue our domination of 9, 8+ year win streaks, 5-year win against the likes of Florida, Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia Tech? That right there in itself, never thought that would have happened.
I know.
And that should be a sweet taste that you savor year round over them.
Agreed.
Especially when they're either not going bowling or going to the Pop-Tart Bowl.
But Adam, we didn't win a national championship. It doesn't matter.
No. Yeah.
I
It's disappointing, but there's no reason just to flip out on this program and just
I
the
agree.
world's falling.
totally agree. We're blessed as Georgia fans. Even when we don't win a national championship, it's all right. We'll move on. We got a great team coming back next year. We just got to keep them all
Can't
together.
Wait. Can't wait to see the leap of Gunner Stockton year 2, full-time starting quarterback, man. Good.
Yep. All right, let's talk about some semifinal games here, and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, we got on, let's see, Thursday, I believe. Yeah, Thursday, 7:30, the Fiesta Bowl. This is the game Georgia would have been in, playing Miami. So we got Ole Miss versus Miami, 7:30 kick Thursday night out in Glendale, Arizona. Ooh, man, did you see, what's his name? I'm blanking right now. It's midnight. Who's the guy, the Miami guy?
What, defensive player?
No, sorry. Former guy, sits on the sideline all the time.
Michael Irvin?
Irvin.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you see that he said that he was a little nervous about Ole Miss?
Yeah, rightfully so. He should be.
He ought to be.
He should be. Yeah, Michael Irvin, he is, he's animated on the sidelines, right? So, yeah, the resurgence of the U. Yeah, I'm excited to watch that game just now going into what's best for Georgia, just to sit back and, transforming for what's best for Georgia to just a college football fan. Just be able to sit back and relax and watch that football game because Miami's got a talented offensive line that I feel like they can have success running the ball against Ole Miss and everything. And then I feel like they definitely got a talented defensive front. It's just going to be interesting to see how they contain Trinidad Chambliss, right? And the pressure they put on him, how they match up against them as Georgia did. So also the storyline, have you seen what's going on about kind of the lawsuit, the tampering Ole Miss is filing against LSU of Kiffin maybe wanting those 6 LSU coaches who signed contracts to go there to skip the Fiesta Bowl. That's sorry. That's ridiculous. You haven't been to a semifinal game before in the program history. Let the coaches finish, man. If I was those coaches, that would be sorry to leave, especially if you're Charlie Weiss, the play caller. How can you just abandon them like that, man? I mean, Kiffin already did it. It's just that blows my mind. We're even talking about this situation, but Pete Golden was like, I don't care whoever wants to be on that plane. We go to Arizona, get on that plane. We're taking whoever and going. So, I mean, it's almost a mindset of just it's wild. I've never seen anything like it of what's going on in Oxford. The chip on their shoulder, the ticked off that they are. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. Never thought I'd see this, especially them getting the semifinal. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you something. And not to deviate too much from this Ole Miss Miami game, but Ole Miss LSU next year is going to feed families.
Oh, it's gonna
Oxford.
It's going to be wild, man.
That will be
wild.
That might be an $800 ticket right there.
Yeah, and Pete Golden is off to a strong start as far as some of the early portal entries and Ole Miss ponying up money again. So I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see once Ole Miss gets off the high of this playoff run, wherever they may end up. I don't know. It'd be absolutely insanity if they win a national championship. But to see where they go under Pete Golden, right? But yeah, I mean, it's going to be wild. You're exactly right. It's going to make Lane's return to Neyland look like child's play.
Yeah, for real. I'm wondering, do they have golf balls and mustard bottles and whatnot?
Oh, they'll have
ketchup bottles.
They'll be throwing bow ties and everything out there.
Belts.
Everything.
Yep. All right, who do you got here? Ole Miss or Miami?
Sorry.
What?
Just thinking of Ole Miss fans and belts and thinking about you.
Oh, yeah. We're going to spare the people of that, what happened. Yeah, let's just say I got in a little jawing match after the game.
Yep.
Tempers were flaring.
Yep.
If you really want to know, I'll tell you in person, but you got to ask me about it. But
cops were eyeing it down.
No,
they were.
Well, they might have been.
They were keeping a close eye on the situation, and I saw that, and that's why I had to pull you aside and let us say it's not worth it. There's no need to get a confrontation with Ole Miss frat boy. It is not worth it. He's not worth your time of day. But I understand. But the emotions were flat. But anyway, I digress.
Well, to be fair, he was doing the whole belt. You know, the B2A. If you know what B2A is, you know. But anyway, he was doing that to me, and I was like, buddy. What are you thinking? Like, direct it to the field. You know, if you really believe that your team put B2A to Georgia, which they didn't, then do it to the field. Do it to the players. I didn't have anything to do with it.
What I love about college football, we discussed this on the way home, is it is some of the most hypocritical. The fans are the most hypocritical in situations. And I do it, you do it, everybody does it in the SEC fan base alike. That the stuff we do celebrating a win, you get upset when the fans are on the other side of it, right?
Well,
that's the beauty of it.
I've never, okay, I've waved goodbye. I've jingled keys, you know. I don't direct that to one specific person who looks down, walking out of the stadium.
I've done it one time.
When?
Well, not like, I've done it in a loss, like mouthing, like should have, like really couldn't control. At LSU 2018.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Leaving this man that was really harm, but just was yelling tiger bait in my face, and I let him know what I thought about it. And then after that, I was like, that was kind of like, I'm kind of nervous. I did not have control of
what you were saying,
my actions at that point in time. Like, I got to reel that in. That's scary. Yeah. So
that was kind of me the other night.
Anyway,
and Adam, you reeled me in physically reeled me into the concourse and said, "Let's go. It's over." It was just so it was so annoying. Oh my gosh, the last 5 minutes of that game, which was literally like 1 second, they put 1 second back on the clock, and just that whole sequence, man, it ticked me off so much. And so all right, let's go back to this game because I don't want to deviate too much. I'm taking Miami.
Okay.
I'm pulling for Miami, and I know people are like, "Whoa, you're pulling for Carson Beck." Whoa. I really, man, honestly, I know a lot of Georgia fans don't like Carson Beck because they feel betrayed or whatever. I'm not one of those fans. I mean, yeah, it kind of rub me the wrong way last year when he didn't show up to some of the games. Or sorry, not some of the games, some of the practices before last year's Sugar Bowl. Yeah, that was kind of annoying. Did he feel like the culture fit at Georgia? Absolutely not. He never did. And I would have admitted that from day one. But I don't really care that all these Georgia fans hate him. Like, it was whatever. I don't love him, but all that to say, just from that one interaction I had the other night, the Ole Miss fan, I hope that guy feels misery and pain. So give me Miami somehow, some way, beating a really good Ole Miss football team.
Yeah, I understand that. But the Ole Miss fans, they were wild. They were obnoxious in the sense. But I mean, Georgia fan, every fan base is like that. But I'll say this because I was thinking about it, was just wild. I've never seen it. And to their credit, man, I mean, they never probably thought they'd see this spot, so they were enjoying the moment. I don't blame them one bit for that. I mean, we saw two Ole Miss frat boys drunk as could be. One just, I'm walking out of the stadium, got in a fight with each other. One just crow hop, swung at one, and just completely whiffed and missed the guy. I mean, it was just wild. They were in their khakis and their ties, and wearing their boots and whatnot. And but it was just funny watching that. But I thought about this too, man. If you take the playoff format, if the 2002 Sugar Bowl played in 2003 season was Georgia, Florida State, like it was then. Florida State was a power in that time with Bobby Bowden. Georgia hadn't been there in a couple decades, man. And if that game was actually, I mean, it was already wild, Georgia fans celebrating because it was a Sugar Bowl. But if that was a playoff game then, Georgia fans would have been acting the same exact way
I know.
of what Ole Miss fans were then as well. As far as the not used to winning a game like this in this type of moment.
Yeah.
So it would have been the same exact interaction there, right? But yeah, but it was awful. It was awful.
Well, I told old buddy he would never see a national championship, and I hope he doesn't.
You did tell him. At least I've seen my team win 2 national championships. You will never see your team win.
It felt so good. That's the only thing. You know what I said? You know that is so hypocritical. That was what
did he say
fans?
What did he say about
I don't know.
I was just rambling.
He tried to bait me. What these Ole Miss fans, and they did this last year to me. One drunk college kid, most obnoxious college students I think I've ever seen. Ole Miss. I'm not kidding.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely.
Been around the SEC and I would know. They're some of the most obnoxious. Anyway, he tried to bait me as I was leaving.
Yeah.
With a handshake, like, oh man, let's make up kind of a thing. And I didn't fall for it because I did last year. And they pull back their hand and I laugh and F you. And,
that's poor form.
Yeah.
That's poor form.
And fingers and whatnot. So I just waved him goodbye. I let him enjoy it. He probably doesn't even remember the night, but whatever. And it all started with him smacking his belt back and forth at me. It's like, dude, your team did not beat Georgia that bad. If anything, I mean, it was honestly, if we're being serious, it was a 3-point win. It technically is 5-point, whatever, with the safety. But like, have a little class. I don't know. Of course, once again, on the other side, I've done stuff equally as obnoxious, but not with a belt. I've never taken my belt off.
I took my belt off at Texas.
You did? But you weren't directing it towards a Texas fan. You know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't do that. I was just in the air.
Yeah,
just
in general.
It just felt like the right time to do it at the moment.
Yeah.
At Georgia, not in Texas last year. No, I didn't do that with Texas. But yeah, I mean, college football, gotta love it. Just wild. The ups and the downs, the roller coaster of emotions, man. It's just so great to see. Nothing like it. Nobody can comprehend it from each side of the aisle after a win or a loss if you're not a part of it and live, eat, and breathe it. During the 60 minutes that game's going on, man.
Yeah.
So
who you got?
Anyway,
you got Ole Miss or Miami?
I want Ole Miss to win.
Really?
I do want Ole Miss to win, man. I kind of like the, I kind of got to respect what they've rallied and done right now. But I don't think they will win.
The whole thing?
No.
Oh, or just Fiesta?
I don't think they'll win the Fiesta.
Oh, really? So you think Miami's defense is going to come
I'm very excited about it. I don't have a clue. But I think Miami's defensive front, man, I think Miami's one of those teams that if there's a team that's really peaking in the playoff in the – but I'm not just impressed by Miami's offense,
Yeah.
I mean, heck, they did, beating Ohio State like that was an impressive win. And,
Well, they ran the ball, and that's kind of Ole Miss's kryptonite. I mean,
no, that's true.
There's one weakness to this Ole Miss team. It's definitely there.
They have ran the ball the past couple of weeks, right? Pretty well in their playoff games. So, yeah, I think Miami's going to win it.
Okay. All right, let's go on to Oregon versus Indiana. Indiana. Rematch game here. Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Friday, 7:30. That'd be kind of fun to be a fly on the wall for that game. As a college football fan, that'd actually suck, honestly, now that I think about it. Like going to the Benz and not seeing Georgia play, that would be really weird, actually. No. Anyway.
It would be weird.
Man, this is a rematch. Indiana barely squeaked it out the first go-round. They went to Eugene, pulled out a big it wasn't an upset. It was just a big victory for Kurt Signetti.
Yeah, we were at Auburn watching that game.
Yeah.
Close game.
Give me Indiana. I think this is just the year. I don't know. This team is unreal. I mean, they put Alabama in the dirt.
I felt like an idiot.
And made them
I really thought Alabama was going to win that game.
I think I did.
I think you might have picked Indiana. I knew Alabama was going to win, but I was completely wrong. Couldn't be more wrong.
Well, it wasn't just you. I mean, I think pretty much everyone across the SEC country, I should say, was picking Alabama and thought that, the whole historic SEC is just going to rise up. The Alabama of old is going to rise up and just dominate this Indiana Big Ten team. And
38-3, 35-point difference.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I'm telling you, man, Indiana, they are freaking amazing.
Most impressive coaching job in any sport I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Let's see them win a national championship, then I'll say that.
I don't care if they do win a national championship or not. It's Indiana.
I know, but
I mean, 2 years.
I understand that, but here's the thing. they won't be remembered 30 years from now by, like nationwide. They will not be remembered in the college football world as a whole, Indiana, if they don't go on and win a national championship this year. Like they might, people might say, oh, yeah, you remember the Indiana team? Oh, yeah, Kurt Cignetti, yeah. But if they want to be the real deal, they got to win it all.
Yeah, and it would be very dang impressive. And not only win it all, but in this 12-team playoff era, be undefeated, win it all. And, be in the Big Ten or the SEC. I hate to admit it, but going undefeated in the Big Ten is very impressive. I cannot believe those words came out of my mouth. That's just where we are now with the parity in college football. And, these talents in the South that usually stayed at the elite SEC schools and maybe one or two get away from Ohio State of old are now going all the way everywhere across the nation. Right. To Texas, to Oregon, Ohio State, yada, yada, yada. But they're not going to Indiana. That's the thing that's so impressive about them is, yes, they've utilized transfer portal, but it's not the Caleb Downs of the world getting paid Texas oil money to come to Indiana. They don't have oil rigs in Bloomington, Indiana, Clark. I didn't know if you know. They do not have oil rigs in Bloomington, Indiana.
What do they have?
I don't really know what they have. They like to play basketball up there and grow corn.
Maybe they make
in rural Indiana.
Just a surplus of corn.
I don't know, but it's 3-star guys, Sun Belt caliber players that are all best friends and connected. That is the ultimate connection right there that they got, man. And it's good. With all that said, though, I'm gonna go with the trend still of what college football has led us to believe personally as Georgia fans that we've encountered twice this year is it's hard to beat a good team twice. And it was a close game in Eugene. And give me the Ducks and Dan Lannon actually do. And I'm going to pick against Indiana one more time.
Wow. Interesting.
So very impressive.
So then if Indiana does end up winning, you're not going to pick against them, right? Next time?
Oh, if Indiana wins, if they beat Oregon, yeah, they're winning the national championship. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't tell you who's going to win this thing. It's going to be
coin flip.
Isn't it amazing? This is a 14 playoff without Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson. And, just thinking about the last decade of just the traditional, what we've Michigan grown accustomed to of seeing in the 14 playoff and in the national championship.
And Oklahoma, maybe.
Yeah, Oklahoma up there too has been, just thinking about the past 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
And, you got random teams like Oregon, Indiana, Ole Miss, and Miami. That's what NIL and transfer portals gave you now.
Yep.
The 12-team playoff. Here we are. Can you believe 3 years ago walking out of SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California? Ever believed we'd get to this point?
I know. Wild stuff.
Hey, it is what it is. So, there's nothing you're going to do to change it. You might as well just enjoy it.
Right. Just sit back, relax, and, at least we don't have to stress, I guess.
It's not Alabama. It's not a Tennessee getting theirs. It's nobody that really tradition. You could argue that Ole Miss, Georgia played every year up until 2002. Yeah, they're a traditional rival, yada yada, but they're not to the level of what Tennessee, Auburn, seeing one of them win. That you can't not pull for one of those teams to win it. So yeah, I think as Georgia fans, we just sit back and enjoy watching, hopefully entertaining football, stress free, not worrying about what's good for Georgia, just watching the games and see what happens.
Yeah,
maybe cheering against Carson Beck if you're for that, or cheering for Carson Beck if you want to take that approach to it. I don't know. I don't care. But, yeah.
Who do you want to win this whole thing? If you had to pick one right now.
I'll rank them in order.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
I think we can both agree. Number one, Oregon.
Yeah, I like Dan Lannon winning it. Yeah. And then maybe Indiana, Ole Miss, and then Miami's my last one.
Okay. I think that's mine, but switch Miami and Ole Miss.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily I don't want to see Carson Beck. It's really not from that. It's, Oregon, Indiana, and Ole Miss have really never, it's just big. I think Miami, of course, is one of the most recent one in 2001, right? Mm-hmm. So see one of those other three win it would be good. But but then aside, I don't want to see Carson Beck hoist up a national championship trophy.
That would be. I know I just said I don't really care, whatever, Carson Beck, but that kind of would be annoying.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. Oh, man. Well.
And I think, too, on the flip side of that, Oregon-Miami National Championship, Mario Cristobal just left Eugene, Oregon up in the air to go back to his alma mater, Miami.
Good point.
Right? So, you can't fault him going to his alma mater, but he did, had a good job there at Oregon. He just left. some would even say is a downgrade, right? But a lateral move per se. Both strong NIL fronts. You can win at both of them. Obviously, you're here, but he did leave Oregon, so a lot of incentive. But opened up the path for Dan Lannon to go there. So that would be an interesting storyline if you got Oregon and Miami. Mario Cristobal, previous job before coming down to Coral Gables, was the Oregon head coach. So, but I think Indiana too can roll. I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely.
But give me Oregon winning it all. That's
okay. All right. Give me Indiana winning it all. And then there's going to be the narrative, the Big Ten better than the SEC. Who cares, y'all? Honestly.
I think there's a valid argument right now.
Yeah.
I mean, period. You can't, like you used to. I used to have so much conference pride back in the day. Like 14, 15 years ago, I was sitting there I was getting into the dang Independence Bowl in Shreveport.
But the difference is, back then, Georgia hadn't won a national championship, so it was almost like you had to ride the coattails of Alabama or LSU or whoever.
I didn't want Auburn to win it when they were in there, Florida. That was sickening. But
I think those days are at least gone for now.
Yeah, I'm glad too, man. It is nice to have a playoff where Georgia's not in it and you're having to root so hard for Alabama not to win another one or for Clemson not to win another one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was sickening having to watch Alabama and Clemson there for that 3-year stretch.
I know. All righty, folks. Well, we've had a good time here on Row 60. This might be potentially our last one of the season, actually. I think we might come back in a couple weeks and do sort of a season recap. What happened to the 2025 Georgia Bulldogs, maybe going into a little bit more depth about the season as a whole. Talk about, what's ahead for Row 60, what's ahead for Georgia football in 2026. So this might be, let's say, the second to last of the season. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of take a break up until June. And I know that sounds crazy, but Adam and I have been discussing this. I think that's best for both of us. We have really crazy schedules in the off season, especially this off season. A lot of different things happening. So probably do that. For our patrons, though, if you're not a patron, now might be a great time to hop on board. What we're going to do is we will be in the studio at least once a month just for our patrons, releasing some bonus episodes, some exclusive episodes where we'll talk maybe some recruiting. We might talk about some Georgia basketball or baseball. We may go totally off topic. I don't know.
You never know.
So if you're a patron, stick around for that. If you're not on Patreon yet and you want to get access to that, just head to patreon.com/row60.
Yeah.
And
So definitely maybe another episode for the public, but then definitely 1 to 2 episodes a month leading till late June with patrons.
Yes. That's what I'm thinking.
So if we do come back, it might be a good idea to come back, do one more after a couple, 2 or 3 weeks, let some big portal movement happen.
Yeah.
Coach the staff, and then just kind of have a state of the program after all that.
State of the
So who wins the national championship. Probably not going to be a G-Day this year. I don't have a clue. I don't know. But, do that and then do patron episodes leading up. And, hey, it'll be here before you know it. Don't want to wish your life away. But, it'll be
and
really good.
And obviously we will be posting on Facebook and Instagram. Maybe have a couple of YouTube videos up, random ones. We'll see. So be following us on our social media channels. But, we'll come back and do one more episode. How about that?
I think that kind of the idea of that as well, too, man, is, I think there's a lot of people who even have college football podcasts and do it weekly. But we kind of don't want people to get into a rut of like, see us pop up and not like, it's just, I don't want to really listen to Row 60 in April. Kind of want excitement when they see a Row 60 episode pop up on their notification there. So, I don't know, but that'd be good, man. That'd be good.
And if you've enjoyed this episode, please do us a favor. Go review us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or both. That would be awesome. If you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. If you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, TikTok, go follow us at Row 60. We'll have some more stuff even throughout the off season.
That's it, man.
All right, Adam, as best you can,
Yeah.
wrap this episode up, and let's put a bow on this one.
I can wrap it up, man. It's disappointing, and it's going to sting, right? I mean, it was there for a third national championship in 5 years, but that didn't come to fruition. But Georgia was in the hunt yet again. They'll be in the hunt again next year. So if we get away, the further away we get away from this loss, I want you to keep dwelling on how this team overachieved. If you got some free time in the middle of March sometime or beginning of April, man, you're just craving it, go back down memory lane and enjoy the fact that this team, what they did in Neyland Stadium. Go rewatch that game. Go rewatch them coming down from multiple possessions in Jordan-Hare Stadium and just demoralizing Hugh Freeze in Auburn, Alabama. Watch that game. Watch another it would be the 25th straight win in Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, when would we ever thought we wouldn't win 5 straight down there after the last, since the turn of the century, right? So go watch those games. Go watch finally destroying Alabama in the SEC championship. Rewatch that game. Just think about just the positives and fun memories that we were blessed to watch this team again, man, and enjoy that through this offseason. It'll be, time for another national championship hunt again very soon. It'll be here before you know it. But until then, man, We'll be around. We'll still be on social media, as Clark alluded to. That's the schedule. Enjoy these next college football games coming up. We only get a few more games just watching live college football, even if it's not Georgia. So savor them, savor the NFL, and then we don't have football for a while, right? So enjoy that, man. But most importantly, God bless y'all. God bless your families, man. Go out there and I'm just trying to be inspirational with the message right here. Just do good in the world. Yeah, just do good in the world. Be good fathers. Be good husbands. Be good wives. Could be daughters, be good daughters, go be good sons. I don't know. Try to just be inspirational with it. But anyway, just what we always talk about. Be passionate about something. We love y'all. God bless y'all. Go Dogs, baby. Ooh, 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 ooh.